Our auditor is here, Mr. Bruce Dunn, who has presented to us in the past.
We do express an opinion, actually several opinions on your financial statements, stating your financial statements present fairly in all material respects. That's the highest form of assurance you want from your external auditor. Traverse City Schools has become, not just because of location, but a client of choice. I ask our audit staff to describe your staff that we work with. Excellent, committed, accurate, professional. Why can't the other districts be like TCAPS? It doesn't get any better than that.
The audited numbers you can take to the bank.
In this day and age of transparency, 160 pages is about as transparent as you can get. And this is about as transparent as you can get. Buzzword of transparency is used a lot, but people don't really walk the talk. You walk the talk on that. And from a transparency standpoint, I've never seen a district work harder. I'm kind of a geek on this stuff, don't hold against it. We set up the chart of accounts for the state of Michigan. And all the districts are required to follow that. The definitions are the same for all districts on what goes into instruction. TCAPS is the 21st largest out of 773 schools. As far as all sources of revenue, though, they're 533rd from the top. Everybody in the state of Michigan doesn't get the same dollar per student. And you need to start there. You're ranked 548, and the goal would be number one. Yeah, because you are certainly not on the high end of the foundation allowance in the state. You get bang for the buck. But you're getting bang for the buck. But there is a big operation that needs to be run, and you're ranked very low on the business side, general administration side. You're way on the bottom 20 percentile on what you spend on those areas, and you're probably in the top 10%, maybe 5% in the state on what you're getting in terms of value and quality. And when they talk about putting resources into the classroom versus resources in the administration section, the business section, and those things, the money goes into the classroom and it goes in there very well. So are you doing more with less? Yes, you are. I mean, as far as value, I don't know if it can get much better than that. You have your general fund, your major capital projects fund. Those funds are audited for compliance in accordance with state law, section 1351A, for compliance on an annual basis. Those funds are restricted. The voter-approved money can only be used for state law and for the intended purpose. And what you've done is really pretty unique in the area of capital projects. You've layered those bond issues over time. That does several, from my perspective, that does several really positive things. You've got some ability to replenish and repair and maintain it over a period of time. And I have to believe if you do a research around in the state, around your area, that millage rate for debt millage is very, very low. You really are on the low end. And the ones that are lower than you, their buildings are so low they have no debt, and they can't pass a millage. I have an awful lot of clients that would love to swap your debt millage rate. Say they're at 7, 8, 9, 10 mils. Their 10 mils is not enough money to make their principal and interest payments. Those districts, in effect, are borrowing from their credit card to make their house payment. They struggle so long to pass a bond issue, they finally pass one. And they're so far in arrears, they pass this big bond issue and they do it all at once. And then what happens is, 5 years from now, they're in the hole. And you manage to bring in enough money to make your principal and interest payments without having to do any extra borrowing. So how would you like to be backwards like that? And you're not. Good for you. You're one of the few districts in the state that issues and literally writes a full capper. And you did get the Certificate of Excellence, and like Paul said, I think there's about 20 districts in the state that do that. What's impressive is not only do you get it, your folks get it. I mean, they know how to do it, they know how to do it well, they know how to do it efficiently. I've got some that spend months trying to figure it out, and we end up doing 90% of it. I mean, I've had a couple of districts that just said, it's too hard, we can't do it. That's not how it works at TCAPS. Your business staff on what they do is second to none in the state. People want to know what's adequate, what's not adequate, why do you have fund balance? It's one-time money. It's your lifetime savings. And it's not all that much. But once you spend it on structural deficit issues, you can't get it back, and you don't fix the problem. And keep in mind, we talk about putting money in the classroom. When you have interest expense, because you have to borrow more, because you don't have fund balance, that's money that never goes in the classroom. On a per-student basis, you're thin. You would be below the state average on ending fund balance. in a peer group on other districts your size across the state. On an $85 million basis, you came in better than your budget, absolutely. You knew where you were going, you monitored your debt, you've got controls in place, you have accurate reporting. People are expected to stay within their budget. That's just kind of the expectation. It's a very difficult job. Steve Piesco and his crew, he says, you know, Bruce, how messy this would be if they didn't know what they're doing. I said, no, Steve, I've got that issue over here. I won't mention what districts. We go down to Detroit, we go over to Grand Rapids, we go down by Kalamazoo, we go down by Coldwater. And you do a lot of things right. And integrity is never an issue. Quality, they're all over us. We feel confident you have accurate information. Your staff does a phenomenal job, and trust me, I don't say this across I have several board meetings that I probably have on tape that you can verify I didn't say that. You continue to work very hard with excellent people on very razor-thin margins. And it's not like that in a lot of districts. A lot of businesses would be better run if they would run it like TCAPS does. But you don't hire me to give you good news. I believe we're engaged by the board to do a couple things. First off, do an independent audit and express our opinion on your financial statements, which we do. I think the second thing you hire us for is our expertise in this area of education and statewide knowledge. And it's my duty to the best of my ability, let you know what we're seeing about Traverse City schools and across the state. I'm like the bank teller at the bank. If your account's out of balance, I can just tell you what the balance is today. I didn't make it in balance, and I didn't put it out of balance. Paul, Wes, your whole staff, like I say, can I clone you? You have a lot of people pretty devoted here. You're my 5th school district I've spoken with today. It's been a long day, but I will tell you what, if we could have more districts do what TCAPS does across the state, this state would be a much better place. Not easy to do. Keep up the hard work. Some of the people in the community, I'm sure, don't appreciate it. Some of them probably don't totally understand it. But when I see what's going on the bang for the buck, what you're doing here, and how many things you do here, and how many things you do well, good for you.